What's up, OpeCast? It's Braden, and on this week's episode, we have Nathan. I felt like he was a great person to kick this off because he has really big news. He just opened up his second UpLate. It's one of the hottest late night spots in all of St. Louis. We're also going to dive into his basketball career of, coaching, right? But hope you guys enjoy this episode. Shout out to Space Mission Marketing for sponsoring this and my producer, Filmed by Dante. What's going on, OpeCast? It's Brad and STL. Today, I have a special guest. He's behind one of the hottest late night spots in St. Louis. He's a good guy all around. He's supported me, probably one of my very first 100 followers on Instagram, and he goes by Nathan.
What's going on, Braden? Thanks for having me on.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. This is long overdue.
Years overdue, man. We, I guess we first started following each other early 2020.
Probably, 2020 during, COVID, mid-height COVID. But whenever you're making videos and posting songs with them, that's you're I moved down to St. Louis in 2019 because I started going to grad school at SLU. And I remember I lived in St. Charles, so I never came down to the city unless it was for Rams games. The only thing I really knew about St. Louis, food-wise back then, was Eat Right. Mm-hmm. And so I came to Eat Right religiously. But other than that, when I first moved down here, I didn't really know where to go. And so just finding your account and you you just pick up food and take it back to the crib and just talk about it and play music that you felt coincided with how the food made you feel or whatever the case may be. And you were one of the first food accounts, if not the first food account from St. Louis that I started following and rocking with. And we I would message you about stuff. Dude. Yeah, it was just instantly just hit it off.
It's crazy because at that time, I didn't really know. I mean, I could describe food as hey, salty, sour, whatever. But it was I don't know, food sparks an emotion a lot of times, especially if it's a really good meal. You're just you're oh my God. And so for me, it always brought music to my mind. And so then when Reels became a thing and I was oh, this is free advertising. I could advertise St. Louis and the food scene and also use music I that I feel match the vibe. Mm-hmm. Nowadays I play the algorithm game as of a month or two ago where I'm let me use this trendy sound. But forever I was I could make content for the people or for the algorithm. Mm-hmm. And I was let me use a lot of St. Louis artists. And I still do. If I know a video is going to pop off, kind of know those things. I'm not going to say what they are, but if you look, there are certain videos I know if I make it this, it's going to pop off. So why don't I use the St. Louis artists?
Yeah. I remember back in a couple years ago and stuff, you using Sir Eddie C, Eddie's music. Eddie's, I love Eddie.
He's the
Eddie's
homie,
the
man.
Yeah.
Dude, actually I ran into him the last time I was at UpLate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I remember. Was that after the Janet Jackson concert or was that another night?
A different night. We're going to get into that, man. Yeah. But you kind of mentioned a little bit about your upbringing. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about growing up in St. Charles and basically your journey, into what got you into the city and what was that like?
So I grew up in St. Charles, and I would in high school I worked at a frozen custard shop, Fritz's Frozen Custard,
for a lot of great things. So.
Yeah, it's very well known out there. It's they got one in Florissant, St. Peter's, O'Fallon, and then one in West County. And so I was the manager. I worked my way up and became the manager when I was in high school, 17 years old. I was in charge of 30 people, which is pretty crazy to think about, a 17-year-old running something. And so I learned a lot from Terry and Debbie just on family business. And I talked to them every day for 3 or 4 years. And so I just was able to learn a lot from them just on business and life stuff. And then, so, I graduated high school and went off to Mizzou. I wanted to be a manager for the basketball team because I coached my own teams in high school and played a little bit And
So you were like Bill Russell. Did you played and
I played,
coached?
coached.
So Bill Russell?
Yeah.
So you were
essentially
the Bill Russell of your
Jackie Moon. Like,
hey, we have a low budget. We were the ABA.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, set a pick for me. I'm going to be wide open, and I'm also performing at the halftime show.
Exactly. That's exactly how it went. And so, yeah, I coached my own teams, a 6th and 8th grade team, my last 2 years of high school. Was obsessed with basketball, thought I wanted to like coach and be in that industry. So I went to Mizzou. I didn't get the managing position that I wanted. So I coached at Hickman High School for a little bit. And then I ended up transferring home back to Lindenwood for a year and a half because I didn't get that job. And that's when I started working with Alex Bazell, who trains like Kyrie, Carmelo Anthony, was working with Kobe before he passed.
He was out of St. Charles at Lindenwood?
He wasn't out of Lindenwood. He had like his own basketball. He worked for Pure Sweat with Drew Hanlon.
St. Louis basketball legend there, man.
And so like I was working with Alex, training kids, and then Alex like blew up. Like, you know, like I said, he had Kyrie, Trey Young, Melo, working with Kobe on stuff outside of that. And then, so I went back to Mizzou because they were like, hey, we need him. Like, Conzo Martin became the head coach. They were like, they knew I wanted to be a manager. I was working with Alex, had worked with Lindenwood's basketball team. Like, hey, do you want to come back and work for Mizzou? So I was like, yeah, like, I'd love to. Like, so that's my junior year.
So that's so Conzo. I've met him before down at Missouri State. I told him like, or was it? I met him. I was like, hey, what do you look for in a player when they try out? And he was telling me, he's like, you don't have to have the most skill. You just got to work hard. That's what I want to see. I ended up sleeping through my alarm that day, so I never had the chance to try out. But I remember him being like such a great guy. And then I think he went to Tennessee, went to Cal.
Yep.
Then went to
Mizzou.
And that was the year. So you were there the year with Michael Porter.
Yeah.
And I think, was it Jonte that year?
Jonte came that year too. He was a freshman as well. And yeah, so I went to Mizzou, started working with them, learned like so much, like just about like life, like from Coach Martin and all the assistant coaches. Like I still use a lot of stuff just on day to day, like that they would just like scream out in practice. Like, those are like some of my favorite people ever. Like I still talk to a couple of them. And,
has he gone by UpLate yet?
No, he hasn't. He lives in Florida. And so he hasn't been, I don't think he's been in St. Louis back, but I was talking about getting him some merch.
Yeah.
And
for those who don't know, he's from East St. Louis. So he's right across the river. St. Louis guy doing big things.
Yeah. He's doing a lot of great things right now. And so, yeah, I worked at Mizzou for 2 years, and then there's time to go to grad school because that's like, for someone who doesn't play basketball in college, like the road that they have to take to get into the basketball industry is like, okay, you're a manager at a school, and then you're a graduate assistant, and then from a graduate assistant, you usually become like a video coordinator or like a director of basketball operations.
Eric Spoelstra.
Exactly. Yeah.
Video coordinator.
Like, you got to start out and you got to do the stuff that nobody wants to do. Like, there are some freaks out there that like doing that stuff, but it wasn't. So I was at SLU. I worked with them. And then COVID happened. And so like the way we did things was like super different that second summer I was with them.
Dude, I thought SLU was going to win the tournament that year.
Dude. Same.
That was that wasn't with Hassan that year?
Yeah. So the 2019, my first year, we were going to the A10 tournament, and the A10 tournament got canceled.
That's what it was. Yep.
But if we would have won the A10 or gotten, won 2 or 3 games, I think we would have made the tournament because we were like, I think we were 23-7 that year with some really good wins. We beat some really good teams that year, and we were like hot at the end of the season. We were like, they had won the A10 tournament the year before. So we were like, kind of like floating off that, like, yeah, we're going to win the A10 tournament again. Like we're going back to back. We would play back to back at the start of warm-ups every day by Drake.
Nice.
And yeah, like we were we were really good. And then COVID happened. I was actually on the way to the airport. So the team had flown to Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. They were in Brooklyn getting ready for the A10 tournament. One of our guys was sick, and they were like, you stay back with him. You guys are going to fly. So they all flew private up to Brooklyn, and they were like, all right, you guys are going to fly commercial to Brooklyn the next day. So we're on our way to the airport, and I see all this stuff like, you know, tournaments games getting canceled, COVID. Mm-hmm. And I texted the Dobo, Mike Will. I was like, should we get on this plane right now? Like, do you think we're going to play these games like up in Brooklyn? He was like, yeah, I'm probably don't get on that plane. Like, there's no reason for you guys to come up here. So we didn't get on the plane when I was like, you hungry, Tay? And so we went and ate at there's like a crisp pancake house or something right there. But we went in and like, we were just thinking about like COVID more, and we were like, let's get out, like, let's just go home. Like,
oh, it's going to be a 2-week thing.
Yeah. And no, and then everything shut down. And so the season changed, and being away from basketball and stuff, I realized like maybe I don't want to do this. Like, I don't know. Something was telling me to get out of basketball. And so a couple months went by. I was still helping them, whatever, as COVID, the school year started. And then one day I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't think I want to work in the basketball industry. And so I sent Coach Ford a letter of resignation. Like, it was Ford Stewin, who passed away 2 years ago, who I was like very close. That was like the closest guy I was close with on that team. Coach, like, I helped him with his scouting reports. And when he passed, that it was very hard for everyone. But so I left the basketball team, not really knowing what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to like work in clothes. Like make clothes or design clothes, or just like, I don't know, but there was like a company in LA that I wanted to work with.
What sparked that interest into getting into fashion?
Whenever I was a kid, like I listened to like, I guess like screamo or like punk music and stuff, and I was always infatuated with the merch that they came out with. Like there was always some sort of wild like design on it. And so like I used to draw I'm a horrible artist. Like I cannot draw to save my life. Like even a stick figure, you'd be like, what is that? Like my handwriting's terrible. And so, but just like, I don't know, the design aspect, I loved the feeling whenever I would buy shoes or like clothes, whenever I got that stuff in the mail or whatever, like opening it, like it always gave me this like feeling of just like, I don't know, love, or like you're part of that community. Yeah. And then you see someone else wearing that and you guys give each other the nod, like, what's exactly. Up? And so that's always what I wanted to be part of, and I wanted to then give that to someone else to make them feel that. And so I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I was in grad school. I didn't necessarily need a job, but I'm obsessed with working, and so I was like, I got to do something. I can't just sit here and study or whatever. And so I ended up getting a job at Neiman Marcus in the basement. And then I ended up linking with Jason at Strange Donuts. He was doing like a food giveaway at World's Fair. Like during COVID, he would like give away a bunch of like, he won like a rib eating contest. And so he had like 400 pounds of meat. And so like Rick Lewis just smoked a bunch of pork, and they were like making pulled pork tacos, or it was on white bread, and just handing them out at World's Fair. So I went up there one day and was like, hey, like, are you guys hiring like at Strange Donuts? And he was like, yeah, like, hit this, like, contact this person, da 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 da. And we just like hit it off right away. He was like, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, I've like seen you at events and stuff. And he always talks about like our first meeting. I am kind of like an abrasive person at times, or like just like, I guess more serious or like stern in the way I talk. And he just, I don't know, he says he just remembers like I stuck out to him, like right off the bat.
Like you were real, like, this is what I can do for you. This is how I'll do it.
Yeah.
Versus like, and we may, you're like, no, this is
what I can do. And so, started working there, and I started making donuts, and then I was like the front of house manager. So I oversaw all the stores and everything, and I was making the donuts. And
was that at World's Fair, or was that like, because you have a few?
Core.
I've ran into you there before too.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
That was before the baseball thing. I was like, yeah, man, there could be something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was like, because you just like, I was just in there buying a donut,
donuts
and then, hey, what's going on?
How's like Brad? You're like, oh, what's up, Nathan? Yeah.
So we always have good combos like that. It's like, what are you up to? And I'm, and vice
you
versa.
Always, got some.
Oh, we got, there may be something with baseball. We'll see. And then, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And always good memories. That's crazy. Whether it's a Janet Jackson concert, a good meeting, a soccer game, other kind like that. Dude, that's crazy.
Always something on the radar, on the horizon coming for both of us every time.
It's
we
motivating,
see each other.
man.
Yeah, no, it really is. Like when you see your peers or your friends also doing cool stuff or like putting on for the city, it's just like, it's like, man, if you're not doing anything, you're like, man, I want to, all right, let me see what I can do. Like, what can I start doing? Or, it's just super inspiring when you got people around you doing have the same end goal.
Like, let's just keep lifting each other up, collaborate. Dang, that's what you're doing? Dang, man. Like for me, I can come and just create a video, or like so many people I see tag you guys. And now let's get into, actually, I'm going to backtrack real quick. I do remember seeing you had, I think, was it flour? Just all over.
Caked up in flour.
And so going from there, how did UpLate come about? Like you were there making donuts, and
so
what inspired that?
Just making donuts all the time. Jason, like I would bring in food to UpLate, to Strange. So I would like cook at home, bring food in or whatever, and everyone always enjoyed it and stuff. And I'm not by any means like, I wouldn't even consider myself that good of a good cook. Like I can make stuff and I know how to make things, but like a lot of the times like at home I get like frazzled like with the stuff I'm making, because I like want it perfect, but like there's no such thing as perfect in food. It's hard cooking's hard. But so I bring stuff in, and Jason always knew that I wanted to own my own like business, whether it was like a clothing store or something like, and so one day he was just like, he owns that World's Fair building. He was like, why don't we open a late night spot in World's Fair? I was like, why not? Like, I'm not doing anything else. Like, I love Strange Donuts, but I've been here for 2.5 years.
For those who don't know, what is that process of providing donuts each and every morning? Like, what time are you coming in to get started from, that point to you're done for the day to clean up?
So it's about like an 8 to 10 hour process of making donuts depending on the day. Usually we come in, not early in the morning, but like, 9 or 10 in the morning and get started. And then we usually finish like later at night. But you're making donuts all day. So like we would fry the cake donuts and then decorate those. And then we would, mix the yeast and then let it rise. So it takes like, an hour to rise or whatever. And then we cut the donuts and we put them in a proofer, and then they sit and they rise in these like hot boxes. And so then after that, then you fry them, you decorate them, you got to fill them and everything. You have to sort them because there's like 4 other stores. And so you sort them all, and then they go onto a lift gate in a box truck, and they get delivered out like, at like 1 a.m.
Okay.
But it's a lot, like baking, and like we call ourselves bakers. baking is like a long, tedious process. Like, you know, we're making the cake from scratch. Like, we have these recipes and everything, and it's hard work. Like, you know, people think, oh, you make donuts. Like, that's probably pretty easy. No, like, you're lifting 50-pound bags of sugar. 50
You're on your
pound,
feet?
Yeah, on your feet the whole entire day. Standing over a fryer. Like, it's, you know, like you said, I'm covered in flour. Like,
Yeah.
My eyes are got a little crust over them of flour. They're long days, and it's no different than, you know, working in any other kitchen necessarily. Besides that, the end product.
I would say, like, one thing, because I've always respected hospitality workers, but it was really like during COVID where I took a step back, and I'm like, you know, I know people in the corporate world that, you know, only work a few hours a week, and then they down talk on, you know, hospitality workers, or they don't, you know, oh, that person, you're just flipping a burger or making a donut. And it's like,
come in and do it. And come try it.
They would not be able to survive. And it's like, you know, you don't know if there's going to be 2 customers tomorrow or if there's going to be 2,000.
Exactly.
You don't know if, like, you may know there's going to be an ice storm, but how do you get donuts to all these different places? You don't know if someone's going to come in, hey, can I get 5 dozen? So it's like, there's so many different variables. Even, I mean, every single restaurant, every single place, you know, what food goes to, you know, you can't run out of food every single day, because then that looks bad.
Yeah.
And you can't over order, or you're going to lose that food. So it's a waste. So it's like, you guys are all over the place.
There's so many, variables. Like you said, variables that go into it.
That's why I respect the hell out of what you guys do, man.
Yeah, it's tough. And the head baker, Ellie, she does like a really good job of, like, you know, we keep track of how many donuts we sell every day. And so, like, we base our numbers, like, based off, you know, what we sell on Tuesdays or Wednesdays and stuff like that. And we look at the weather when we come in. But yeah, I think everyone should work like some sort of food job in their life, just so they get a better idea of, like, you know, what we go through, like, on a day to day, especially like just making the food in general. Like, it's not just, you know, just flip the lights on and throw a patty on the grill. There's so much that goes to it, and the people that, like, want to be great or doing it at a high level, like, there is so much detail into it, and that requires even more time and more energy. And so, like, yeah, I think everyone should get in the kitchen and work a service job at least once in their life, just to have a better understanding of what it's like.
One thing I feel like that has separated Strange and then that has carried over into UpLate is the branding. Man, like, going on your website, everything looks amazing.
Thank you.
And then just the different videos that you and Jason work with, I believe Tom.
Yeah, Tom English.
Yeah, he's reached out to me. Him and I will do something. I don't know what.
I hope so.
But man, I love his dude. I love the creativity. Man.
He's a wizard. I met with him on Sunday, and it's just super good dude. Super, like, relaxed, chill, like, but he's really good at what he does. And yeah, the marketing and the branding, like.
How do you guys come up with those skits? Is it like one day you're there and then
just like Jason, like, has an idea, or maybe I have an idea. Usually Jason has, like, the blanket idea, and then we'll kind of come together, and, like, we don't have, like, a script or anything. It's just like we have the blanket idea. Yeah, it's basically all improv, or, you know, all that stuff is like 1, maybe 2 takes, like, at max, and we just roll with it. Like, we just let, like, each other go off each other. Like, we're very good at like, when you talk about a partnership, like, we really have a great partnership, and we both are very good at what we bring to the table. And
there was that one video of you guys where, I mean, every single one, but there was one, like, because I enjoy them because they're creative, they're different, they're fun. There was the one where were you guys hiring, and you had was it the flannel, or I can't remember. You had, like, a cut off, and you're like, he was yelling.
Oh, it kept getting the V. Well, there was one I had, like, a V-neck on, and the V kept getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah, that one.
Until at the end, it's just it's like down to here, and then I end up just ripping it.
Yes, that. Yeah.
That was for we were having, like, a party with like, proper cannabis. and we were doing like a home makeover, but like for like a party.
Yeah,
we were throwing a party
with a pool and
just all kinds of wild stuff. But yeah, that was funny. We kept cutting the V deeper and deeper and deeper, and my whole chest like was out. And like I'm like a dude who just doesn't want to be in front of a camera. I don't want my picture taken. Like before we opened UpLate, like I didn't want anyone to know that I like was UpLate or like behind UpLate. And so like that first initial like bucket list posted us, and there's like a picture of me holding a bag, and like the first thing we ever like was out there was like me, and I was like, oh my God, like I was like, this is not what I want to like. I want to be behind the scenes. Like I don't want anyone to know that I have anything to do with this. But like,
and then literally every single media outlet was like,
everyone,
who's this guy?
Yeah, who's the dude with the mustache and orange beanie? Like,
and then you had to be in every single post.
And I thought I was gonna be able to get away with being behind the scenes. I don't know why I thought that, but like, especially in today's climate where like, you know, chefs and cooks are like, it's like glamorized now. Like people like aspire to be that, and it's like not something that's looked down upon anymore. Like family, like, you know, you would tell your like a long time ago, you'd tell your family like, I want to be a chef or I want to be a cook, and your family's like, no, you don't. Like, trust me, you don't want to be that. And now it's like, man, like, go to culinary school. Like, you should be a chef. You should be like, it's like the cool thing to be or cool thing to do is like
a restaurateur.
Yeah. And like, and part of that is like how thankful or like comes from like people like you, like who spread light on food and restaurants and stuff, and like make it more accessible to see the behind the scenes or see the food or see who's cooking the food. And so yeah, I mean, we have to thank you guys for like
appreciate it, man,
opening that up for people to get that narrative that it's like negative out of people's head, and it is a profession, and will put food on the table and pay the bills. And and
you guys invest in the community too. You guys, you know, I'm not going to knock any chain or anything, but it's like you reach out to that chain to sponsor Joe's little league team. Is that probably going to happen? Maybe it takes a few months, goes up the ladder, maybe it happens, but it's like, you know, someone could reach out, not saying to you, but like one of these local businesses, and that's just to show me. You know how St. Louis is. It's like you could say you're going to do something, but like people have to see it.
Yeah.
Then the more people have to talk about it, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I see it." So that was like how my mind worked. And you know, even when I started doing video content, it was like my goal with that was reintroducing people to going back out to eat, because that was still at a time where people didn't want to, I didn't want you to be within 20 feet of me.
Right. Yeah. Stay away.
Yeah. You're all the way over there. And so
I don't want to sit at a table where, you know, I'm eating food here and you're eating food there. Like,
so it was like
a different time.
It was like, all right, these restaurants are opening back up. Let me get some, if they let me in the kitchen, which was still difficult at that time, but if they did, you know, I would get some footage there. But if you look back on some of my old videos, it was like fast, like bam, bam, bam. But it was like, hey, here's going back out to eat. And then, you know, then it became more of the aesthetic, like, hey, this is what it looks like. And then now it's more voiceover of my personal experience. But it's like kind of going back into UpLate, when you were coming up with that menu, like what went into that?
The menu, man, like when we were like, all right, it's UpLate or whatever. What do we want to sell? I was like, sliders, hot dogs, hamburgers, like tacos, pizza, breakfast sandwiches. And Jason was like, no, pick two.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, he just wants me to like be the kitchen manager and just do whatever he like wants me to do or whatever. And then I like kind of like, it always takes me a minute to like listen to someone for like advice. Part of me wants to be like, no, I know everything. And then That's like my stubbornness. And then so I'm like, he's done this before. He's, you know, had successful businesses. He ran a hot dog stand for 20 years in the Loop. Like,
scalability.
yeah, he knows what he's doing. So I was like, okay, breakfast sandwiches, because he would bring in breakfast sandwiches and he would put hot sauce and jelly on these breakfast sandwiches. And at first I was like, that's nasty. You're sicko. And then I tried one fine. I was like, this is fire. Like,
Yeah.
this is really good. And I had made my own jelly at home for years. Like, my grandpa, he's from Arkansas. And so, like, we always would make jelly and stuff. So I learned that from him. And so I don't know, I love blackberry jelly because that's not something you see that often.
No.
Usually we'll see blackberry jam, which is like the seeds and everything in it, which is more popular, like easier to do.
Okay.
And the jelly is just like the straight juice, and so there's no seeds and it doesn't like crunch in your teeth. And so I
just learned something new right there.
yeah,
man.
so jam has seeds, jelly is just juice.
Okay.
And so, you know, I took the jelly, made it blackberry, took the hot sauce, made it into an aioli. And the late sauce, which is the late sauce, so it's like a habanero aioli, which the late sauce was completely different. I changed the late sauce to what it is now a day before we opened.
Okay.
So like we had something completely different, and then a day before I was like, no, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
And I didn't think people were gonna like freak out about people go nuts over the late sauce. They they love the late sauce and the jelly combination.
Dude, I actually did not put jelly on my sandwiches until I went to UpLate.
Really?
And then I think I was looking online and I was ordering. And I was like, oh, I'll just order extra jelly. And I get it. I was like, okay. But I like
all
jelly.
right,
I
yeah.
like the sandwich, you know, the bacon, the egg. And so then I took a bite and I was like, oh,
You're like,
crap, this is so good, you know? And then, man, I was hooked with that. And then like, it's like, what else can you put jelly on and enjoy it?
so there's this woman, Wendy, who works at UpLate. Shout out Wendy, she rocks. Everyone at UpLate, all the employees are fucking freaking sick. But she like puts jelly on literally everything, like on the tacos, like on pizza, like she loves the jelly. And yeah, you can put jelly on anything. You put late sauce on anything. And
Do you guys sell your jelly?
we don't. Well, you can get like sides of the jelly, and sides of the late sauce. You can get like a quart of salsa. I should start selling the late sauce and the jelly. It's easy money.
Yeah. Just sell a little bit, you know, maybe 10 jars this weekend. Hey, now available, and kind of see how it is.
Yeah,
and
see how it goes.
could be a special you run.
Why not?
Like, you guys are creative enough, man.
Yeah.
You got the branding now. You got the merch too.
Yeah.
Everything's starting to come together.
It's coming together, yeah.
Next thing you know, you'll have like the UpLate late night basketball games right next to the antique signs.
We're already working on it, dude.
Bam.
Chris at Profield, he's supposed to be making me basketball hoops. So Chris, if you're watching this, then you need to get on the hoops, because we got other people talking about UpLate basketball now. So the gauntlet's been thrown.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So what has been some of the obstacles and biggest challenges that you've had to overcome since opening up? Because your sleep schedule is not the same.
No.
You can't really sleep in. Like, what has that been like?
So I think the biggest thing for me is like just finding ways to, like, it's a lot, especially early on. Like, I was doing a lot of this stuff by myself. Like, not by myself, but like I'm doing most of the prep and like making the salsa, making the jelly, and we didn't have like the proper equipment to make that stuff, like the scaling wise.
Yep.
From the time we opened, like I just looked at this the other night. Our first night we opened, February 18th, we did 187 tickets. Like,
that's huge for a first day.
An opening night. Like, and so from the get-go, it's been, you know, great, and it's still going up. And so like that demands a lot of our food. And so, like, you know, I'm grilling 40 pounds of steak every day. I'm making, you know, 50 pounds of salsa, like making, you know, 50 quarts of jelly. And it's a lot, and it's a lot of work. And like those first days, I would get there at like 1 p.m. and then I'd be there till like 7, 8 in the morning.
So, what's it called? The graveyard shift? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
The late night?
Mm-hmm. So I'm doing that. And after we close, I'm like prepping for that. I'm starting to prep for that next day.
So it's nonstop.
Nonstop. And so it's just like a lot. And I was like very short with people, crabby, grouchy. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to listen to anyone. And if, you know, some people would offer help, I didn't want it. I'm like,
It's your particular. You like want to make sure it's your baby.
It's my baby.
So it's hard to like delegate.
And that's another thing, like bringing people in, especially early on, like, this is my baby. I have to have it this way. If you can't do it like this, then I'll just do it myself. Mm-hmm. And because we thought at first, like, me and Jason, like, will just be the only two that work there. And like, from this, like, that wasn't possible. Like, I needed 4 other people with me working. Yeah. Because we were so busy. And which is all of the things early were great problems to have. Great lessons to learn from. But yeah, I just was in like not a good mental state. I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't sleeping because I would get home at like 7 or 8, and then I have to be up at like 1 the next day. So like maybe get 4 hours of sleep. And you know, I'm 27. I'm cool with 4 hours of sleep. I know if I get between 4 and 5.5 hours of sleep, I'm good to go the next day. Yeah.
It's like mentally it just wears.
Yeah. So I can physically do that. I can physically go on less sleep, but mentally, like, it's not set up for the long run.
Yeah.
And so I had to realize that and loosen my reins on some things. You know, I had to be able to receive help from other people that were offering it. I had to just not be so serious all the time. Like, if you were to talk to me like an hour before we open, like, I was thinking about all these things that we had to do, and I was like super short, super sarcastic, super just snappy, like, and just like no one wanted to be around me. And like, and so I think once I was able to take a step back and like relax a little bit and like not be so serious, like at the end of the day, we're serving food and we're giving people food that is going to make them happy. Like, it's not that serious, like, on our end.
Was there like a certain, like, in like a situation or something that you're like, okay, well, I need to stop? Like, were you at a point where you're like, I'm going to quit this? Or was it like
the first weekend, like the first 2 weeks, like after the first weekend, I was like, I'm either gonna skip town. I was like, I'm gonna move to Arkansas. I have a house in like my grandpa has a house in Arkansas. There's a donut shop in that town. I was like, I can just go make donuts in this town and live on some land for forever. Yeah, I seriously thought about just skipping town and just not saying anything to anyone. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say, you know, a couple months in, Jason like talked to me and was like, you know, you're acting like this. You don't need to be. We have this, and this that's able to help you. Please, like, it's okay. Like, you're not alone. And I think once he talked to me kind of like about that, then I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, we're all good.
Take a step
Everything's
back.
good. Yeah. It's not that big.
How has it been built? Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, how has it been building a team to have people that can share your vision? Like, finding the right people's, you know, difficult sometimes as an entrepreneur.
It's been awesome. So like at first, like right now, like there's a core group of people that have worked at UpLate for almost the whole time we've been open.
Impressive.
Yeah, it really is. There's like 5 of them that have been there for almost the start. And so, you know, recently with us announcing that we're open our second, I had over 100 applications for that store. Like
100?
Over 100 emails.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Ever.
Like, and like people are like, how? Like those hours, like people want to work those hours. And there's just something about UpLate that like,
I think it's the culture you guys have built and the reputation.
Exactly.
The brand, I guess, right? Like,
yeah. People just see it and they want to be a part of it. And so when I'm building my team, I'm looking for people that, I'm looking for a couple different things. I'm looking for people, like just cool people, like cool creatives, that, do like fashion or media or make videos, take pictures, stuff like that. And then I'm looking for people who just like, want to make money. Like we pay our employees very well. Mm-hmm. And so like there's people that just want to make money. And then there's people that like want a career out of this. Like, and so I was able to like, I met with at least 60 of the people. So I set up interviews at the gelateria a couple days, and I sat there and I interviewed these people all day.
Yeah.
And whenever I interview people, it's like the most informal thing. Like I'm like, "What'd you do today?" And da 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 da. Like, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Oh, I feel that.
And just like it's just me. Like, can I hang out with you like for a couple hours? Like, would I be able to like work with you for several hours? And it's just like, I don't care what you've done in the past. Like if you've cooked, if you've not cooked, it doesn't matter because I can show you anything that you need to know how to work it up late. Like you don't need any type of skill to come work it up late. So it's essentially just like, can I see myself working with you? Do you want to help us grow UpLate even bigger, and do you want to go somewhere else and have your own UpLate? And so I like right now I have like 15 employees that like 10 new that I'm training that'll work at Delmar when that opens. But like whenever I go, like they don't need me right now. Like I don't have to be there anymore.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome, but it also makes me like, man, they don't need me. But it's like, that's a testament to me, because, and everyone else, because everyone else is like training everyone. Like I said, like, I don't need to be there. Everyone's taking care of each other, and it's really cool to see. And like, I'll sit there for the past 2 weeks. I'll sit there and like, just laugh. Like it just makes my first reaction to when I hear or see something great is I laugh. And so like,
you have like that grandpa smile, like,
yeah, exactly. And so just seeing them work and like do all this stuff and like look cool, they're playing cool music, and like, I'm just like, man,
what
this
is
is sick.
What's that UpLate playlist? Like, what are you listening to when you're prepping, or what's playing in the kitchen?
The UpLate playlist. So I'd say like, I like rap when I'm working, like heavy rap or like old rap, like but yeah, I'd say a lot of rap for the most part. A lot of like 90s and early 2000s pop.
Oh yeah. The bangers.
Yeah, all the classics. But I'd say like we have like weed songs, like if we're like in the trenches or in the weeds, like Rasputin Club Mix is like number one on the list. I love putting on the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. There's like some really good, just like, I don't know, the way the soundtrack on Lord of the Rings, I love it.
I'm gonna listen to that now.
Yeah, it's fire. The Isengard theme is a good one to while you're in the weeds. One, like, I really love Action Bronson. Mm-hmm. And so like when we're in the weeds, there's like, I have like an Action Bronson playlist that I always go to. And it just his first album, it like starts out, it's just so hard. Like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, mostly rap, a lot of like Grateful Dead, and Dead and Company, like jam band stuff. I really enjoy that. I don't know if everyone at UpLate enjoys when I have go through those stretches.
They know what kind of mood you're in.
Yeah. And so I always play my music based off mood, but
I feel that.
Yeah, just a lot of like Grateful Dead. We do something called like John Mayer Sundays. I also love John Mayer. And so usually like we'll start the night off with some John Mayer, and just, he's got a Sirius radio show right now. Mm-hmm. And so I've been putting that on recently sometimes. And he'll come in with these like smooth, like little one-liners that are just so funny. He's like, it's like 3 a.m. and he's like, all right. He's like, this song is for all of the nursing mothers right now.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, dude. It's just it's super funny. He's actually shouted out, not intentionally, but UpLate several times. He like says UpLate like super late in the night. He's like, we're all up late right now, and we're like, oh, he's shouting out UpLate. But
you should like have someone who's handling your media be like, hey, all right, run this report or whatever, whatever like bullying search or whatever search you got to do. Can we get him saying UpLate?
Yeah, that would be sick.
If you're UpLate tonight, hey guys, we're here at UpLate, the new location right at,
have John Mayer just doing all of the sound bites.
What if you like, you know how like some coffee shops, they'll write the quote like, or even, was it Berry Box at City Foundry? They'll put like, trust the process or have a great day. You're like on John Mayer Sundays, you're like, don't put your bodies in Wonderland. That'll get you in trouble. But be like, this is to the nursing mothers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I pick it up. I'm like, dude, what? You're like, it's John Mayer Sunday. You don't know what
John
quote.
Mayer, dude.
You don't know what quote you're going to get. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
And then at John Mayer, that'll get him into UpLate.
Get him at UpLate. Yeah, I mean, he's really good friends with Andy Cohen, who's from St. Louis. So,
everything's possible.
Could make anything happen.
Now, you've talked about the new location. What can people expect? You're right there, Delmar and Skinker.
Delmar and Skinker, yeah. I've had a lot of people like, man, I can't wait to sit down and eat. Well, you're gonna have to keep waiting because UpLate, as long as it's like an UpLate and it's under like me and Jason, you'll never be able to sit down and eat at UpLate. It'll always, the way it's set up and why it's so good and why it's we're able to pay the people that we pay them is because there's no inside seating, there's no one taking orders, and so it'll be the same thing. You'll order online. What right now I'm trying to like push, like, you don't need to be at UpLate to order UpLate.
Seen those videos.
You can order UpLate at home. We actually would prefer you to order at home. It makes things easier for everyone else if you guys order at home or the club, at a concert, at a soccer game. Like, you can order. You don't have to be at UpLate to order. And so, it'll same thing. You order online. It'll be the same menu. We will start to do more specials.
Okay. Like more collaborations. We got a list of collaborations coming up. We're gonna just do more specials, just trying out different food items, giving a different look to some things we already do. And we're gonna have a party on March 14th. And that's going to be a collaboration with Newer World, which is like a media company, like Nyara and Justin Solomon. And it's going to be sick. We met yesterday and we were talking about all the things that we're going to have. And I think it's like, it's going to do like pinpoint a lot of things that like tie back to St. Louis, which obviously that's what we're doing. But because what is March 14th for those who may not know?
3-on-4 Day, St. Louis, celebrating the city. And it's really become like a huge thing, like over the last couple of years. Like, you guys had a big event last year, and it's just getting, people together, like, just to celebrate the city. Like, everyone in St. Louis or from St. Louis is very proud that they're from here or live here. And so, what can we do to get just tie everyone together and give people a place to hang out and meet people and do something cool. And that's like also partly like what UpLate is and why I wanted to start UpLate. Cause I was always like, man, where can I go meet people, or where can I like find people like me? And like, it's crazy the amount of creatives and artists and people that come through UpLate, like you're saying you ran into Eddie, when you came to UpLate, you're always like it's like going to a Target, like back in St. Charles, like when you would go to Target, you would see at least one person you knew in that Target every time you went, no matter what time or what. And like, that kind of reminds me a little bit of UpLate. Like,
You're the,
you go to
you're the
UpLate.
Target of South City, man.
Exactly, yeah.
With the big antique, instead of like the Target sign,
Yeah.
the big antique pointing sign, like, because that thing points, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it points.
Like, hey, can we change the way it
We
points
pointed
more?
towards, yeah.
We'll pay for that, right?
Yeah, we'll flip that paint around.
But that's been awesome, man. You've had concerts out there, and it's just a good vibe, man. And I think that's why you have 100 people applying. You have people that naturally support. I think people can see through the fluff of people, and you guys seem real. You're like not afraid to just be yourself, and that's what people want nowadays. We don't want Nathan to be up here. Hi, guy. Like, we just like, dude, be yourself. People will rock with you or not. And
I've never felt like more like myself than like I do now, because I'm able to, like, I have a room where I can execute and do the things that I want to do. And I have support with Jason. I have support with Tom and Adam Bertels, who does all of our graphics and stuff. Like, I'll tell him anything and he'll make it happen. Like, he's like, everyone we have around us is very good at what they do, and they all serve a purpose, and we just like mesh really well together. And like, in the end product, obviously you see it as what it is, and I'd say it's pretty good, and pretty good for the city. Like, there's nothing really comparative to what we
like, you guys have a community of people that will just pop in just to say hi.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love. Yeah, Profield Chris has built a really good thing over the Profield, and that, like, of people just. It's kind of like, yeah, like when you go to Profield, or like when I go to Profield, I'm gonna see someone that I know, like, and it's like all creative.
It's like the Target in St. Charles, man.
Yeah, dude. It's really cool to see that, and I'm excited to work more with Chris and like start doing stuff with him, because every time, like, I love going to his events and seeing what he does for the city, and he's getting like more growth with that in his like Field Club Media and stuff, and every time I see him, we're like always talking about like
What's next?
Yeah, and so I think we're really starting to tap into that more here in the next couple months. Yeah, I just love working with people. Like, St. Louis is a super collaborative, like, city, and there's a lot of very talented people here and what they do, and so, like, how can we tap into one another and like both get something out of it?
Yeah.
And it's just fun every time, like, to hear and create with others.
Let's talk about the future, whether it's for yourself, UpLate. What does the future look like for you? What are your hopes, dreams, aspirations?
Future, so open up 3 UpLates within like the St. Louis general area.
3 more?
No, just probably 1 more.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we'll have 3 total. So 3 total in the area, and then, me and Jason within the next month are going to be going to Chicago, Phoenix, and Denver Boulder, to start like looking and talking to people about bringing UpLate to other cities. And so I would like to, sorry, we'll cut that. I would like to bring, UpLate to every major city in the US. And I think it's easily transferable. With the branding, the menu, the concept. Who doesn't want breakfast sandwiches and tacos? Like,
yeah,
it like scratches anyone's back, essentially. Like, you eat those anywhere.
I don't think I've ever made an UpLate video. I've always shared it on my story, but it's so dark, and it's like I'll take a photo, and it's still dark.
Yeah,
and it's like I share it, but it's like I because it's obviously at night. Dang, I need to make a video.
It's all G. We'll
I
get you
shared
out there.
photos of it.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Because I ain't gonna lie, that food does not make it home, man.
That's what a lot of people are like. Yeah, a lot of people will post the empty foil wrappers or like the empty bags and stuff.
Dude, I'll tuck a napkin in my shirt while I'm driving, and then I take another one, I put it on my lap. It's because of jelly, you know.
Yep.
And then when I'm eating carne asada tacos, I'm just like not eating it like I normally
like a normal
would,
taco,
but I kind of eat it like I'm
kinda
like
shuffle it in, almost like
sprinkle some of that salsa on it.
So yeah, I mean, I would like to take it everywhere. Jason's like kind of the driver on that. I'm more of like, no, I'm like focused on the day to day of like what's next here. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey man, like, let's go. And I'm like, that like scares me.
Yeah.
But it's like a good feeling. And so yeah, I open up everything here. Like personally, like outside of UpLate, there's things, and I have, you know, I've been traveling a lot, and I've
seen that, yeah.
Seeing and experiencing a lot of things that I think St. Louis and even like just the States could be better at in general. And so just kind of playing more on that. I want to one day open up some sort of restaurant that I pull dishes from all the places I've been. Mm-hmm. Like I've already got a menu starting to build of like, okay, I want to have this dish, I want to have this side. Like I had this sauce in Costa Rica, and I had, you know, this soup in Colombia. Like
I could picture it, yeah.
And like pulling it all together. And so that's like personally for me down the road is like what I'm most like looking forward to. But I still have like so much to learn and so much to grow, mm-hmm. and so many places to travel.
Thing, man. Exciting that like you're forever curious.
Yeah.
And you're motivated, and you're like, okay, we're going to be building this. I also have this other interest, and it's like this going to lead to this other opportunity. You got to get this to that point. You're always going to love that. But then, yep.
And then, yeah. And then you got something else on the horizon. Yeah. No, it's, and it keeps you motivated to what you're doing now. And then it also is like, man, I want this. I see this. I'm someone who likes things that they can't have. Mm-hmm. And so like, I can't have this restaurant right now, but I can do the research and I can figure out what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I don't need that right now. It would be terrible for me to open up some sort of restaurant right now, or even in the next 5 years, mm-hmm. Because I do need to focus on this, but it's something to play with and something to have on the back burner and just like keep me interested in doing different things right now. And
having that like that childlike curiosity, like that's
exactly. I have all of Central America to get through still.
Yeah.
Like I've only hit like the little corner of the eastern side, and so I need to work my way west, and I need to work all the way down south through, you know, Nicaragua and all Panama, all the countries right there, and then like still have a lot of South America to go through before I even think about opening a restaurant, because I want to be able to experience all of these dishes and all of this food and all of this culture and all these people. And so that's, I'm also very blessed to be able to go and do that stuff.
Research and development.
Yeah. Yep. And UpLate has provided that. And like before we opened, I was like, man, I'm not going to get to go anywhere for like the first year that we're open. Mm-hmm. I've traveled more in the past 6 months than I ever have in my life. Like I've been out of the country 7 times. I've been to Cuba. Like my life is like great. Like, and it's all from the work that I've put in, like not even just with UpLate, mm-hmm. but my time before that. Like Jason didn't just give me the keys and say, open UpLate.
You had to earn it.
Yeah. Like I did all of this stuff that led me to there. And I worked with all of these great people and all of these mentors before Jason to get me into the ring with Jason. To be able to have Jason as a mentor, I had to do this, and this, and learn from these people. And
I feel like you're kind of like me in the sense of if someone tries to downplay the work that you've done and just say, oh man, that's easy, man, anybody can do it, you're just probably like me in the sense of go do it.
Yeah.
Like if it's that, just go do. Like I'm not here to compete. I'm not here to
Right.
prove you. Just go do it, man. Like
Yeah.
if that's what it is. Like I feel like you're the same. Just
100%. And it's like, you know, people will say, or like, you know, talking about, oh, like you guys should do this, this, and this, da da da. And it's the same for like probably content and videos. Like, oh, I want to see this in your content. Like, not necessarily like them saying that, but like them kind of, some people like maybe talking trash or whatever. And it's like, do this, this. It's like, okay, well, if you want all that stuff, like you go do it. Like you go create that
I'll
stuff.
tell you how to do it.
Yeah. And go do it. And it's like, it's not for everyone. Like if it was that easy to do it, then they would be doing it. Like, I think like a lot of people, like creatives, they create because they don't see anything like what they're doing out there. And so it's cool to be able to like, one, work extremely hard at what you're doing. And then two, like you see the results and you see, things come in because of the hard work you put in and all the stuff that you did to get you to that point.
Because I feel like, and Dante and I talk about this, like I'm one of the, like, or we're both like two of the people that start so many trends here and like, all right, let's do something different. Let's have some fun with it. And then after like, it could be a few weeks, could be a few months, then everyone's doing it. And you're like, it was fun when it was new for us. And then we're like, all right, let's come up with the next thing. And then someone else does. And it's like, I'm at a point too. Like I always think ahead, man. And it's, I just had a call this morning with someone and they're like, wait, I did not expect this kind of call with you. I'm like, yeah, I literally the whole time I was working on Brad and STL, I was working on my MBA. And so instead of like helping a corporation get tens, hundreds of millions, I'm like, let's build a whole creator economy here in St. Louis. This is how you do it. Bam, bam, bam. And when I break it down to people, they're like, oh, I thought this was going to be a different conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, I move different, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I like when I think of like content and like stuff about like St. Louis, like the two of the first people that come to mind are you and Dante, like, because you guys do it at such a high level and like, and it's just always very good content, like no matter what it is. Like, I love like those little Amazon shorts that you guys you've been doing lately. Like it's so simple. You're just like talking about random stuff you've found on Amazon, and it's like, I don't know, it's just interesting and it's cool, and I enjoy, like I said, I enjoy all the stuff that you guys do and put on for the city.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
very
Dante.
much welcome. Thank you for the content.
Well, before we wrap up the pod, I have 3 things I'll go over with you. Foodie Friday, dinner guest, and words of wisdom.
Okay.
So for Foodie Friday, I mean, these could be places in St. Louis, could be your own restaurant, could be places around the world. If you want to St. Louis, stick to St. Louis, that's great. But for Foodie Friday, Nathan, if you had to go eat at 3-4 places here in St. Louis or around the world, where would they be?
So I love Mexican food. I'm hitting Don Carlos on Cherokee. It's like connected to the Carniceria, which is like the butcher shop. It's diagonal. It's right across from La Viasana, and it's diagonal from El Torito.
I have a whole video I still got to edit and post from when I went there, I think in November.
Okay, yeah.
That's some authentic stuff right there, man.
And they hit you with the radish and the cucumber. Those are like my favorite tacos. Also like El Torito, which I forget what their actual, like the restaurant isn't called El Torito. Mm-hmm. It's called Hectoritos.
Okay.
So the actual taqueria inside of El Torito grocery store, it's called Hectoritos. They also, like, their tacos with Don Carlos are like the same authentic, incredible tacos. Also on Cherokee, Lily's Panderia. It's a bakery.
Yep.
They do food on the weekends sometimes, or if it's nice outside. It's a husband and a wife. They're from Mexico. They've been here for like 30 years, and they make very good tacos, and their tamales are probably my favorite tamales.
Dude, they were sold out when Juno and I went like 2 years ago for a series. Like I included in, but I ended up getting like one of their pieces of cake or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I went in there for it, and he's like, "Ah, sorry, it's past the time." I'm
Yeah.
like,
So you gotta hit them in their hours that they're serving food. They do have very good cake. I like to sit there and eat cake and drink coffee as well. But so yeah, those are like 2 really good Mexican spots down on Cherokee. And then I'd say I'm a man of like habits. So like if I like something, I'll eat there like religiously for like 3 or 4 months and then like switch it up. But I haven't been there in a minute, but like one of my favorite, I love the Fat and Calf. Their Filipino barbecue is out of this world.
sensational, man.
It's so good. And Darren and Charlene are like the sweetest people in the entire world. I love them. We've become very good friends, like just from me coming in there and like I'll hang, like I went over there on Thanksgiving night, like and hung out with their family and their friends and stuff.
That's awesome.
And where else? One more spot.
How about if it's someone's first time coming to UpLate, what should that first
order be?
Yeah. How do I get that experience there?
So I'm gonna say this: we call it roll tides in the kitchen, but a sausage, egg, and cheese. It's because like SEC, think of So Alabama football, even though I don't know why, but that's what it is. But so we make the sausage in house. So we make our own sausage. Aaron, a guy who works there, who's one of the cooks too, he makes the sausage, and it's out of this world. And then, so I'd say a sausage, egg, and cheese, 2 tacos, 2 carne asada tacos, and then I'd say a beer, because we have a beer with 4 hands.
Yep.
If you don't drink alcohol, which I also don't drink alcohol, so if you don't drink, you can get a Mighty Kind THC seltzer. So you can swap; those are interchangeable. Or if you're just looking, I love milk. Like I'm a sucker for just plain 2% milk. So we have Rolling Lawns milk, which beat out like Prairie Farms and like all the heavy hitters in Illinois, and they won best milk in Illinois.
Have you had the chocolate milk?
I'm not a chocolate milk man. I don't do chocolate milk.
I'm not a chocolate milk person.
Really?
But when I had that their chocolate milk is actually, I had it last time I had it was at, I think, Strange.
Okay.
But it's almost like a smoothie. It tastes like a chocolate smoothie.
All right. I don't really like chocolate, but I'll give it a try. I'd trust your opinion very highly, so I will try the chocolate milk, because I've literally never had it.
Yeah. Wait, do you know Michael Turley there?
Yeah. Michael's
Dude, he's
awesome.
such a good guy.
Yeah.
Man.
Him and his wife always used to drop the milk off at Strange when I was there, and the son, even like straight up family business. Like the son works there and everything. The daughters, I'm pretty sure, work there.
And they're at home from Mizzou.
Yeah,
I'll send you the St. Louis Grind series I did earlier this year. They're in the first episode. Went out to their farm. Got to see it. It was pouring down rain. We got to see the whole operation.
That's awesome. That's really and they like let you do stuff like that, which is awesome. They're good people. So yeah, sausage, egg, and cheese, 2 tacos, a drink, whether it's Rolling Lawns, Mighty Kind, or 4 Hands beer, and then a donut. You got to get like 1 donut. Out of the donuts that we offer, I'd probably, if you're going like real St. Louis, like they've never been to St. Louis,
gooey butter.
Going with the gooey butter.
Yep.
The chocolate cake, again, I don't like chocolate, but like our chocolate cake, the Strange chocolate cake, it's different. It's so good.
How many donuts do you eat a year?
Me?
Wait. How many donuts do you? How many donuts do you eat in a? Wait, did I say that right? I don't know why.
I think so. You're just asking how many donuts I eat in a year.
Yeah. How many donuts do you eat in a year?
Not that many. Not as many as you probably would think. Like when I was working at Strange, I never ate them.
You can't, because otherwise you could burn yourself out and you feel like so many donuts.
So like my thing is, but I would always like taste them, because I'm a baker and I need to know I'm making good stuff. Yeah. So my thing is I would always like take a bite, chew on it, and then like discard it. I do
that from time to time.
Just to get you the effect, like, oh, I'm eating a donut, but I'm not eating a donut. I'd say at this point, I'll eat like a decent amount now. I'd say, I'll probably eat 50 donuts in a year maybe now. Like, also it changed, like, I'm sober, And so I got sober. It's been like maybe 15 months. I never ate them before I was sober. When I got sober, I like was running through donuts like a madman. I think it's just because like you crave sugar when you get sober, and so like that's so I'll eat donuts now. Whenever Ellie brings some chocolate cake with vanilla icing, like that's my favorite donut in the world. I'll try it and I'll kind of like give her like feedback, like I'm like or like I can tell who made the donuts like based on the chocolate cake. Like I'm like when they're like like they're always good, but like I know when like when certain people like fry the donuts. Ellie makes the best donuts. Like she's really good at what she does.
It's kind of interesting because like people probably know who made their sandwich at UpLate if they're going several times in a weekend every week. Now food is this beautiful thing that brings us all together. Let's talk about dinner guests. If you can, let's say if UpLate had a booth and you could sit there with 3 other people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
That's a good question. I'm going to go like, this was my first initial reaction to that question. Roy Choi, who's a chef in like Los Angeles area, he started like kind of like the food truck movement with Kogi. And they did like Korean fusion tacos and
Kobe as in Bryant?
With a G.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And they were like the first people to do food trucks, like because it was thought of like dirty or like unsanitary and gross back then.
Yep.
And this was like in the mid 2000s. I think Kogi opened in like 07 or around there, maybe 08. And they just like would pull up to like UCLA and like just sell food, and like just people would go nuts over it, and then like they would run out of food, and then like the students would go buy more food so that they could keep making food. Like Roy was like, all right, if you buy this food, but he's got like a show on Netflix with Jon Favreau called The Chef Show. He's just very he makes good food, and he's just like a very community oriented person,
and visionary too.
Yeah. And he's like trying to do like,
are we looking at batteries?
Oh, they're plugged in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, you're completely
cool.
Batteries. We have been rolling for an hour 10.
Cool. We got probably 5-6 minutes, I think, left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Cool. No, I appreciate it. I just want to make sure batteries were good.
Yeah, so he's like just very like trying to create jobs and create food that's like sustainable and like good for people, not like the slop that we are used to.
Yep.
And so Roy Choi, and then I'd go probably Anthony Bourdain. Just he's a food legend, and I kind of like with all my travels now, like I want to bring Tom, like our cameraman. I asked him the other day, I was like, would you be interested traveling with me? Because I would like to create some content of my travels.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
And like his shows, like when Anthony Bourdain talks about his shows, he just like he's just creating what he wants to create, and like the narratives that he wants to push, and just showcase different things. And so I think it would be just interesting to sit down with him and like see what he thinks of like UpLate's food.
Be a traveler, not a tourist.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I try to do when I travel. And the last one, probably Matty Matheson. He's just like a big wild dude, like, and he's a chef, and he's from Canada, and he makes like really good videos and like funny content. And I think those 3 together would just like mesh and like bounce off each other. And
what would you bring to the conversation, or like will you be there like asking questions?
That's a good, I don't know, I'd probably just like sit and just like listen to them talk. Like I'm like a relatively quiet person, like for the most part, and I like stick to myself. And whenever I'm in a room with people that I feel like know more or better than me, which maybe necessarily they aren't in some cases, like not those 3, but like just in general, I tend to just like sit and listen. And yeah, I probably would just sit and listen. I might add some one-liners, like to add some comedy at times. But yeah, I love to listen, like to people with knowledge, like speak. Because I'm 27. I'm trying to get myself to be like, you know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
These people know.
They've lived it.
Yeah. And that's like one of the biggest things I've like learned is you're not really going to ever know something. Like someone, I could tell you this, and this. You're not going to know what it feels like until you actually go through it or you actually do it. And so it's just a different like mind frame.
What's kind of interesting, like someone can give you advice today. You're like, oh, okay. But then when you get in the trenches, that hits you and you start thinking about it. And then you want to reach out to that person. Hey, you told me about this. I'm actually in that now. Here's what I'm looking at. How would you handle it if you were in my shoes? But no, I definitely understand that. Now, before I let you go, words of wisdom. Maybe it's somebody that wants to do what you're doing, or it could be someone watching this, listening to this that could be going through a tough time. What would it be and why?
Two things. I would say, like if you are going through a tough time, or if like, even if it's just like a mood that you're in at this current moment, even if it's just for a day, just call someone, like just talk to someone. I'm in AA. And so one of the big things in AA is like the community aspect of it. And like, I call so many people like on a day-to-day basis. Like if ever I'm in a mood or anything, like I'll call a friend, and like we don't even have to talk about things that are making me upset. But just hearing about someone's day and vice versa, it just changes your whole mood. Like I know like it's so easy to isolate, and I do it and I still struggle with it. But like anytime I make a call to a friend or, a mentor or Jason or anything, like it always makes my day better, and it changes so quickly, and it's so easy to do to call someone.
I like mentally just like I feel, because I do that too. Dante, he gets my phone calls. I go on kicks, right? Like lately I've been on a kick of checking in, besides like if I'm out of town.
Yeah, literally just checking in.
Like, what you up to, man?
Exactly. And it'll change your day. I love it. And then two, I would say like, don't listen to people like they're outside like chatter. Like I remember when I was at Strange, like if you trust what you're doing, then keep running with it and keep going with it. Don't let other people like hinder you from what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, it's about yourself and not about really anyone else. Like when I was at Strange, like I had people like telling me like, you need to leave Strange. Like you need to find a different job. You need to do this. You need to do that. Like that's not going to be good for you. And I was like, no, like I know like I'm doing right now is going to pay off, because I know that me and Jason will one day do something. Like Jason, I trust Jason. Like if you have trust in someone also, keep riding with them. Like you guys will figure it out. If you're both doing the right thing, or if you're doing the right thing, stick with it, because one day it's going to pay off. Like if you're a good person, you do good things and you work hard. It might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but one of these days something is going to give, and it's going to pay off, and then you're going to be thankful that you stuck with it and you didn't give up on it. Because it doesn't just happen overnight. Like
I was going to say, aggressive patience.
100%.
Gotta aggressively be patient.
And it works no matter how much. Like it's happened to me several times, like aggressively patient.
And look at you now, about to have a second location within a year.
Within a year.
187 tickets on your very first night. And it's only gone up, and you've been out of country 7 times.
Yeah.
The last 6 months.
And I have a great group of people around me, a great support group, great family, great friends, great creatives that I can come in and chat with. Yeah, man, everything's going good, and just keep your head down, keep it moving, and just keep being a good person, and things pay off.
Well, I was going to let you go, but I do have some footage of you at the Chicken Out Fryer Fest competition.
Oh, man.
And Dante brought this to my attention. I was like, you know what? I think I do have the footage.
From this year or last year?
From this past year, 2023. What happened, man? You let Lando.
Yeah,
Epic
Lando.
Eats.
Why, man? All right. So the first year, me and Lando were neck and neck, and I think he finished like maybe 20 seconds before me or something. But we both finished them that first year, and I like ate all of them and was hanging in there. I was fine, and so that's when I was working at Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working at Strange. I was covered in flour. I was hungry still.
Yeah.
The second year, we were like maybe 7 months into UpLate. Things were good. Things were smooth for me. I had to work later that night. Mm-hmm. So,
no pressure, right? You can't be on the toilet the whole night.
Exactly. So, I'm eating. I was ready to like get after it. I was ready to take Lando down this year. And so, we get up there, whatever. I brought gloves. Like I'm like ready to rock. And they lay the chicken down. I like take a bite. I was like, man, this is hitting harder than it did last year. Like,
yeah.
And then so I see Lando over there housing them again, and I was like, I was like, I gotta work later tonight. Like, he's already like a whole strip and a half ahead of me. I was like, how much is it worth it? And at the end of the day, I just told myself it wasn't worth it.
Your palates are too valuable now.
Yeah, palates too valuable. So I ate. I don't even know if I don't think I finished even a whole strip. I think I ate like maybe a half one, and I just let Lando. I was like, "You got this, big dog. Like it's all you. It's all you. I don't want the smoke this year, but maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe I'll get back on the grind next year." But I used to be able to handle spice. I don't know what happened. It got to me this year. It was hot. No, it was hot out that day.
It was, yeah. Oh, hot, yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of the scorchers day.
Dude, when I heard Jason was going to be in the chicken tender eating contest, I was like, dude, this is my year.
I got a chance.
And then they were like, we have 3 professional eaters.
I was going to say, they brought in some like professional eaters.
Nah,
yeah.
man. I'm like, I'll take a few, but I think I ate 12, 11. The year before I ate like 14, 15. He ate like 26. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember this was like the first time I ever saw Jason. It was at a Forehand Strange event, and this is when Rick was at Southern still, and they did a spicy chicken tender contest. It was a pound of tenders and whatever. So I entered and I got in there, and they like literally pulled the tenders out of the fryer and like dropped them on the thing, and then they're like, go. These things, like, they were like spicy, but they weren't that crazy.
Hot.
Temperature hot. They were out of this world. So I like started shredding them. I like burnt my hands so bad. I got second that day again. And so I was ready to, I was coming for the crown the first time against Lando. And I shredded them up, but the ones at Chicken Out weren't like straight out of the fryer. So like I didn't have that problem. But yeah, man, one of these, I gotta be able, I need some bragging rights over Lando. I gotta beat him at something one of these days.
And
I'll get him.
He's probably listening. He actually works out of here too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in here. We have our own incubator, our own team. Well, man, I really, really appreciate you taking time to come on. This is long overdue. And for those who are listening or watching, how can they follow you or UpLate?
You can go to UpLate, or the Instagram name is UpLate STL. You can go to the website, uplatestl.com. That'll take you there. My Instagram is Nathan Z Wright. If you're trying to follow me, I post pictures from my travels and my food on there. But yeah, go to the website. Here's another thing. You don't have to order at UpLate to eat UpLate. You can order at your house, at the crib, at the club, at a concert, uplatestl.com. You'll get a text when it's ready. We'll see you guys soon. Stay up late. Thank you for having me on. It was great talking with you.
Dude, appreciate you.